Ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the April 1st, 2008 Board of Selectmen Sewer Commissioners meeting. Will the clerk please call the roll?
Madam Chairman, all 5 selectmen are present, as is the town administrator.
Thank you very much. Before we begin this evening, is there anyone who wanted to address the board under citizens' participation? Okay, sure. Okay, sure. If you want to... Yeah, just so we can get you on the microphone. Thank you.
People at
Thank
home.
you very much. Thank you. No, they can look on. You can look on.
All right, what I want to ask is, how many of you are here because you feel that the nutritional manager got a bad deal and got pushed out when she shouldn't have been pushed out? Would you raise your hand now? Everybody raise your hand? Okay, so there's a bunch of us here who are beefed off. And we're taxpayers, and we're Americans. We get to run our lives. And the letter that you people have in your hands, when I saw it, I just couldn't believe it. It's a fantasy. I've worked down there for 3 years, and some days, many weeks, 5 days a week. You know, for 2 years, I was 5 days a week. And that's just not the world we live in. And what I'm in hopes of is that one of you selectmen or somebody will go down there and talk to us who are feeding all these hungry people. If you saw the people we're feeding, you'd know we're doing a needed service. You know, they're in tough shape.
I was just going to say, I'm sorry, sir, I don't know your name.
Oh, my name's Jim Eubanks. I live at 15 Seawood Road.
Thank you.
Yes. I've seen, one of the allegations is if things don't go Marge's way, that she badmouths the program. And that's just not true. I've seen her under pressure. I mean, I've seen her in all kinds of situations. And she just doesn't badmouth the other organizations. When things don't go her way, frankly, I wouldn't have the grace to be that kind. But she does. And she didn't badmouth the program or the other programs that the town is trying to run and so on. And we really believe that letter came from the third floor. And somebody should look into this. And then there's the thing that she didn't run a professional organization. In my long life, I'm getting old now, but in my long life, I've been in all kinds of volunteer organizations. And I'm telling you, this was a well-run organization. And Marge brought great loyalty. It was well-run. She brought great loyalty out of her workers. And it was just a first-rate program, and it's just pure baloney that it wasn't professionally run. That's just mixed up. Because I mean, I've seen programs that aren't well run, and that was a well-run program. And then one of the allegations against her is she wouldn't meet with the people on the third floor, and she swears on a stack of Bibles that she's repeatedly tried to meet with the people on the third floor. And I believe her. And somebody ought to look into this. First of all, we got one guy is walking off the job in the Meals on Wheels, and he carries a lot of food. He's a real horse. And now we got 2 other people talking about walking off. And how are we going to feed all these hungry, some of these people in tough shape? And we're going to have trouble replacing Marge is the real deal, because she had a real gift for keeping everybody happy. There's about 25 or 30 of us that work in this thing. So what I would hope that one of you or the proper official would come down there and meet with us and let us essentially say what I've said, that look, this was a good program. No. And something really went off the track here. And that's my pitch.
No.
Now, do you want to ask me anything?
No, actually, I actually want to ask the town administrator, because my understanding, and I thought it was your understanding, was that Marge had retired. Or that was what the information that we had been given.
Not, well, she retired, but under that letter,
If you work for a company for 30 years,
Well, that's what I'm saying, is that it
And
sounds
she
like
was
it was
pushed
forced.
out.
Right.
She was pushed out.
She was pushed out.
bottom line is she was pushed out. I mean, you work for a company for 30 years, and they
Exactly.
come down with charges like that, and if you knew this woman like we do, you'd know that everything there is air. No one came down to investigate, to give her her say, to defend her in any way. And like I said, she was an unusual woman for her
Yes, she really
for her
was.
job.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
our concern is, Jim might even make another comment.
I worked alongside of Marge for over 10 years, and I never once heard her come down and talk down anybody
Never did.
No.
or against anybody. She may not agree with everybody's ideas, but she said, I'll work with them.
Right.
And she's like, I'm like that. I agree to disagree. And let me wish you and Mary Jane good luck today.
Oh,
Well,
thank
us
you.
too. Us
Thank
too.
you. I don't know if you can shed any more light on this because, you know,
It was brought to my attention that Marge was retiring, I think
Right.
the day that she was retiring, and I came over to introduce myself, and I've had a couple invitations from Jim, and it's one of the places I haven't yet gotten to. It's,
Right.
it's just a busy transition, the last few months being the busiest time of year. When I met with Marge, she discussed this. I actually asked her to reconsider if this played any part in her retirement, that she would reconsider it and stay on, and then I would be happy to look into it. And she felt that she had done a lot of years of service, and it was her time to retire. So when this was brought to my attention on that day, I asked her to reconsider and stick around a little longer, and I'd be happy to speak to Old Colony on her behalf, but it never
Yeah.
got that far. Unfortunately, it was, as I say, it was her last day of service, so
Did you make any further inquiry after that?
I have not.
no, it was like the day.
Well, maybe after you hear my
had
part,
she
you
been interested
might
in
think
s-
about it.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
please.
Because
Yeah.
we're basically doing this as a total picture.
As a
We're talking about a total picture.
And I'm sorry, your name?
Well, my name is Larry Gaines. I live on 13 Pheasant Avenue in Wareham.
Okay, Mr.
Senior
Gaines.
citizen, volunteer, and a taxpayer.
And just to follow up, Madam Chair, if I could, to Mr. Savage's question, had she shown any interest in staying, I certainly would have.
No,
if she
my
wanted to.
question was, did you do any follow-up
I have
despite
not,
of that?
because she wasn't interested in continuing on, so no. Yes, no.
Well, but I
The-
guess
the letter crushed her.
I guess my question would be, as a manager, I guess my concern would be to follow up to make sure that something like this didn't happen again. If we lost a valuable employee, we certainly don't want to lose another valuable
That's right.
employee, and that was the basis of my question.
Madam Chair,
She was not ready to retire when this happened. So, take that for what it's worth. She was not ready to retire. It's just this thing came down in the way it came down. I think I would have done the same thing. But I'll follow up on what Jim's. Like I said, my name is Larry Gaines, and good evening to you all and to people who are attending. Our purpose here tonight is to bring your attention to the festering problem at the COA building. As you know, there are two independent organizations, and maybe you don't know.
yes, we do.
You have
Right.
that have contributed to the betterment of the senior citizens over many, many years, with no problems, with very efficient contributions to them, in many, many different ways. And one, of course, you know, is the Meals on Wheels program, and they don't just deliver meals. There's a lot more to it than that, and I don't know if you know the integrity of Old Colony's operation, but it's very complicated. They have people out there who are caseworkers, who check on people. We check on people. We've called police at times. We've had a couple of people find people in trouble. We really attend to these people, and it's been a very well-run organization. With the other organization, it's the Friends of the Elderly. And the Friends of the Elderly is independent, and for over 50 years, they have been earning money, holding affairs, contributing to individual and group senior citizens who are in need. In cases of if they need food, or if they need a couple of dollars for a prescription, or if they need transportation,
Right.
all that kind of